Welcome everybody to Freedom to Connect. I'm David Isenberg, as the sign here should say. Thanks Amy, thanks Democracy Now! You guys are great and we're so glad you're here. I'd like to start by saying that this conference was made possible by our generous sponsors, the most prominent of which is the Media Democracy Fund and the Open Technology Institute. Google Fiber and Google also played a role. The Sunlight Foundation, ThoughtWorks, Ting, CTC Energy and Technology, Hogan Lovells, the law firm, and Atlantic Engineering Group, the municipal broadband feasibility design and build company, also played a role. I'd also like to thank our great volunteers. I'd like to thank AFI Silver. The crew here has gone above and beyond to help us with Democracy Now! And of course with the production of Freedom to Connect. And I would like to thank all of you for coming. Now, Freedom to Connect, in my mind, has three aspects to it. The first aspect is the community broadband aspect, the idea that a community can build, own, and or control its own infrastructure for the communications and benefit of its citizens. The second aspect is open protocols. The IP protocol, TCP, the other protocols that, all the way down to the physical device protocol, that allow open communication to occur. If these protocols are publicly specified and open, then we can use them openly and connect with each other. If they're closed, if they're proprietary, we don't know what to expect, and forces other than ourselves can use them for rent seeking and other purposes that are orthogonal to or against our freedom to connect. The third aspect of Freedom to Connect is the idea that you can use the internet, the applications of the internet, to promote democracy, to promote economic growth, to promote discovery of each other, to promote everything that is humanitarian and good and tied to our language and our fundamental humanity. And that's important because the internet can also be used to spy on us, to censor us, to keep us from communicating with each other, to instill fear, to send us stuff that isn't true and other kinds of propaganda. And so those three things are critical to Freedom to Connect. Community networks, open protocols, and applications that promote humanitarian and democratic principles. We have and I want to say one other thing. How am I doing on time? Okay. 7 minutes left. Wow, I'll be done early. Okay. I want to say one thing, that there's Freedom to Connect is about freedom and about connectivity. And in the past, this conference has been largely about connectivity, about building the networks and regulating them correctly, and spectrum policy, and the sort of the nuts and bolts of connectivity. In the last year, with the death of Aaron Schwartz, with the prosecution of Bradley Manning, with the exile, or whatever you want to call it, the fact that Julian Assange, who committed journalism, is holed up in the Ecuadorian embassy in London, Kim.com, who was railroad prosecuted, or is in the process of being railroad prosecuted by the United States, even though he's a New Zealand resident, and numerous other bloggers and activists who have run afoul of, I should say the law, but it's really the power structure, have created an atmosphere where I think twice about what I say in public on the internet. Now, so far, the fact that I'm scared spitless about saying some things has not stopped me from saying them. But the fear is there. So, and that fear, it's a palpable thing that it's about my freedom of speech. When I have that fear, I'm not so free. I'm going to keep saying it anyway. I'm going to keep doing it anyway. Last year, the FBI was here. Is the FBI here today? Online? NSA? Well, you know, it doesn't matter. The fact that we suspect they might be is all part of the zeitgeist under which freedom to connect occurs today. So, that said, I would like to introduce a woman who ran for Congress 3 or 4 times, depending on how you count, who is probably going to do it again, and I hope she does, who has not yet won, but who continues to fight, because the fight is important. The taking a stand is important. So, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, I give you Darcy Berner.